Walter Francis Dillingham, born April 5, 1875, passed away October 22, 1963, was called the Baron of Hawaii Industry. He was an American industrialist and businessman from Honolulu, Hawaii. He gained favors from Hawaii politicians to develop urban Honolulu and Waikiki. Dillingham was born in Honolulu in the Kingdom of Hawaii. His father was Benjamin Dillingham, who founded the Oahu Railway and Land Company. His mother was Emma Louise Smith, daughter of missionaries Lowell and Abigail Smith. Walter F. Dillingham attended Punahou School. Historical records confirm that he was educated there before moving on to Newton High School in Massachusetts and later Harvard University, where he graduated in 1902. In addition, a family oral history transcript notes that Walter Hyde Dillingham, a later generation Dillingham descendant, recalled riding bicycles to Punahou School as a child, describing the school's location and the family's proximity to it. This supports the idea that the Dillingham family had strong ties to Punahou, and that at least one prominent family member, Walter F. Dillingham, was a student there. In 1889, he moved to the United States to attend school in Auburndale, Massachusetts, and then Harvard University, 1898 to 1900. He first worked as a clerk for his father and then managed a Dowsett company and founded Hawaiian Dredging Company. In 1904, his father was hospitalized and he managed the ORNL. From 1907 to 1913, the governor of the territory of Hawaii was Walter F. Freer, who was married to Dillingham's sister, Mary Emma. In 1909, he constructed a dry dock at Pearl Harbor, which eventually became part of the U.S. Navy base. He also enlarged the ports of Kahului and Hilo. On May 2, 1910, he married Louise Olga Gaylord in Florence, Italy. She was the daughter of Chicago banker Henry George Gaylord. Together they had 4 children. The family lived at La Pietra, an Italian villa-style house near Diamond Head. After his father died in 1918, he and his brother Harold Garfield Dillingham inherited the family businesses. During the World War I, he worked for the U.S. Army Motor Transport Corps in Washington, D.C. Dillingham supported agricultural efforts at Allendale's farm in Hawaii and led community campaigns to plant war gardens during World War I. She did charity work with the Palama settlement in Honolulu. She was one of the early founders of the League of Women Voters of Hawaii. Their son, Henry Gaylord Dillingham, 1918 to 1945, was in the U.S. military during World War II and died in active duty in Kawasaki, Japan. In 1948, the Dillingham Airfield near Mokuleia, Hawaii, was named in their son's honor. Dillingham served on several commissions for the territory of Hawaii, including the Tax Appeal Court, 1908 to 1910. In 1919, Dillingham built a large house at Papaenaena, an ancient Hawaiian altar to the surface and place of Hawaiian human sacrifice to the god Kukailimoku on the slopes of Diamond Head. The home, called La Pietra, is now a private academy for girls. It was named after the estate of his wife's relatives where they were married, Villa La Pietra. Dillingham drained the wetlands of Waikiki in the early 1920s and created the Alawai Canal, on whose banks the Hawaii Convention Center was built. He helped suppress Japanese Hawaiian plantation worker calls for better labor conditions during the Oahu Sugar Strike of 1920. As chair of the Hawaii Emergency Labor Commission, the Hawaiian Sugar Planters Association sponsored commission petitioned the U.S. Senate to lift an 1882 ban on importing workers from China, hoping to use Chinese immigrants, laborers to replace the Japanese and break the strike. Dillingham is also seen as controversial for comments which by today's standards would be considered racist after the Massey trial of 1933, which resulted in the killing of a native Hawaiian and the beating of a Japanese Hawaiian by a mob of angry and never prosecuted whites. 1948, Dillingham Airfield, a small Air Force base near Mokuleia, Hawaii, was named for his son, Captain Henry Gaylord Dillingham, a B-29 pilot who was killed in action over Kawasaki, Japan on July 25, 1945. His son, Benjamin Franklin Dillingham II, 1916 to 1998, ran with the Hawaii Republican Party against Daniel Inouye for the Senate in 1962 and lieutenant governor in 1974, but lost both campaigns. The other senator from Hawaii, Hiram Fong, gave the eulogy at his funeral after his death on October 22, 1963. Fong said he lived a life that spanned the full spectrum of Hawaiian history. Dillingham is buried at the Valley of the Temples Memorial Park in Kaneohe. In 1961, his son, Lowell Smith Dillingham, 1911 to 1987, merged the remains of the Oahu Railway and Land Company and the Hawaiian Dredging and Construction Company to form the Dillingham Corporation. It was sold to private investors in 1983 for $347 million. A daughter, Elizabeth Dillingham, 1921 to 2011, married investment banker Myron Arms Wick Jr., 1915 to 1940.